It is, I think, January 14th, and I went to the library yesterday. I got 6 new books. 6 new books. Am I crazy? I have this here with my little eraser, my binder eraser, and I kind of want to hold it like a mic, but I'm not. I'm actually kind of mad at myself for having so many books, and I feel like if I do this, it feels more like an interview and I can hold myself accountable, but I'm not going to do that. So I want to show them very quickly because 2 of them are chunky books. Why am I doing this to myself? They're laying here on my desk. My desk is not really big to begin with, so I just want to get this haul filmed. And then whenever I have time, I have 2 finished books actually that I can talk about. Oh, speaking of library, if you remember, last month I got the Fall of Numenor. I think that was it, by Tolkien, and I'm going to be honest with you, I did not read it. I gave it back unread because I read the Silmarillion and I was just so done with it, and my brain was so fried with everything, and yet I still went on and got the second book in the chronological order. And every time I looked at it, I took the book, I opened it up and thought, nah, not today, no. So I gave that back. How that counted for my read one book, buy one book, I actually counted as read, because I also counted as brought in when I got it from the library, and so I gave it back. I don't know what the hell's wrong with me. I got 6 new ones, so I'm now at -3 books that I can buy, and I have 2 book clubs that I'm in. I'm getting my Lustgestaltenbuch every single month, and I also get the Illumicrate book. How am I supposed to do that? There are some books that I will just show you. The first one, actually don't have that downstairs. That is The Subtle Art of Not Giving a... As you've probably seen the book before, that is a like a self-help book, right? To not give a... Right? So that will be hopefully a rather fast read. And that will also count for my non-fiction book. Or non-fiction books. I think it's like 5. I'm not sure. So that will cover that. Then, of course, I got another Hercule Poirot. So this is Curtain. This is the last case for Hercule Poirot. And I didn't really think about it. Maybe I should not have gotten this, but it says in the back, Captain Hastings' invitation to a reunion with his old friend Hercule Poirot brings them full circle, back to the rambling country house of Styles, where they solved their first murder together. I don't think I've ever read the first Poirot, so maybe this was not a good idea, but I guarantee you, once I get to the first Poirot, I probably forgot everything that happened in this book. So, of course I got this one, which makes sense in my reading all the Agatha Christie books. That's how I was playing myself to myself. So I got this one. This is also quite a short one, and I've heard about this quite a lot. So I, Who Have Never Known Man by Jacqueline Achman. She was Belgian. This one here, I've heard quite a lot about this. Luckily, there is a copy available on Libby, which is available soon. That's what it says. If I don't feel like reading, I have the audiobook. Also have the audiobook for A Subtle Art of Not Giving a F. That is available, I think, in 2 weeks. So if I don't get to it physically, I have the audiobook planned. Curious to see what it's about. I don't know what I would count this for. Hercule is of course a big part of this challenge, but I see it more as side quests, right? My goal is to read more and read more genres. I don't know what I would count this for. Maybe this could go for the green cover, because it's kind of, I don't know. We will see. Then I got another Sebastian Fitzek, The Einladung, so The Invitation, which is again a psycho thriller. I was at the library. They have quite a lot of his books. I don't know if they have all of them, but quite a lot. And I went to Goodreads to see which books I've read and whatnot, and this was, I think, the only one that I haven't read yet. So if I read this, I might be up to date with this author. There is some red herring throughout this whole library haul. It's not a huge one, but it's still there. I had some plans in the back of my head. So I got this one. They're all very fast and easy to read, right? Because he has that kind of talent when you start reading a book, like a psycho thriller. You are so into the story that you want to know how it's ending. No matter, it doesn't matter if it's 3 a.m. in the morning, you will read this. And it doesn't matter if you can't sleep afterwards because it's a psycho thriller and people are weird. I think that's why I love him so much, because he writes stories or characters it could very well happen and exist in the real world. And humans are scary sometimes. Humans are monsters sometimes. Hopefully this is a fast read. If you know how I usually pick my books to read, I have like 7 again, of course, stacks of books with the 7 books on them, and then I just randomly pick them. This time around, I will just read library book after library book after library book, because otherwise I will not finish this in a month. I have until February 10th. No, because I kept the 2 chunky ones for last. Oh my god. I said in the last update, I probably will not get this from the library. I will not check it out this month because I've read this one last month. Well, no, wait. No. House of Sky and Breath was the first book of 2026 that I finished. I started it in December, but I finished it in January. And I said, I need a breather because these are big chunky books. I just need something else in between. Now, I've had 2 books in between that I've read, as I told you. It's time. This is the last book in the trilogy. It's the last book. Chunky, but it's the last one. So if I'm done with this, I'm done with a full trilogy, and I'm done with the trilogy prompt. I still have to do the series. do not even get me started on the series. That is not a HRCYED series, so Akotar. I told you that in the update, there is a whole new storyline coming in at the end of the second book. I think like the 2 last chapters. And I was just like, man, how is this all going to fit into the last book? Because you have a bunch of people in here, a bunch of characters, and all of their stories need to come to an end. Now, of course, it could be easy and you just knock them out. But I don't think HRCYED will do that. I think you will have some actually nice closure. And now that I see how chunky it is, there will probably be a nice closure. How many pages do we have to do with here? I just don't know. 835 pages. Alright, last but not least. Walter Mörs, die 13,5 Leben des Captain Blaubeer, so the 13.5 lives of Captain Bluebear. That is a very prominent children's figure, right? In Germany and German-speaking countries. Oh, here, right? Very, very prominent character. If you grew up in the 90s and 80s, you probably know who Blaubeer is. So it is, like I said, an illustrated book. I don't know how well you can see it. And mostly towards, I don't want to say children, but you know, like it's for a younger audience. And it's also written the POV of Blaubeer. So he's basically telling you about the 13.5 lives that he's lived. A Bluebear has, say that 5 times in a row, Bluebear has 27 lives. So he kind of lived 13.5 already. It's just very, I hope this, oh, these sounds. Finding something I know. All of this, including the subtle art of not giving an F. I remember last month I was so proud of myself that I only got 3 books. That's my library's fault, you know, because back in the days you were only allowed to check out 5 and now you're allowed to check out 10. Now it could have been much worse. Imagine if I checked out 10. I would be so happy when I'm done with them. So happy. This will rather be a fast read, hopefully, but this, oh. You know what, I have to get reading. I'm actually, what am I reading? Oh, Snake Eater by T. Kingfisher, and it's just not good. I heard a lot about that author and how they are like very prominent in the horror genre, right? So I got the new book. The edition that I got is the new release for December. Apparently it wasn't released in November, but the one that I got, I checked twice, was released in December, so it's a new release for December. And it's just not, like I'm almost 100 pages in. I think it's roughly 300 pages. So I made a good progress in that, right? And it's just not really my thing because it feels very cozy. And someone in the Goodreads ratings wrote down that the description for the book is completely different from the book itself because it's promising you a kind of scary story with ghosts and spirits and whatnot. Someone living in a small town where everyone knows the other one. You know, like your mind kind of runs wild with that. And apparently it is more of a cozy mystery or cozy fantasy, which is absolutely not my genre and do not like it. And if I would have known that, I feel like some books are sometimes not tagged correctly, right? Like it's so easy to write a tag that says cozy mystery, or they're not, like the description is not what the book is actually about, and it's just a description that's supposed to bring in readers because it sounds exciting and, you know, like kind of mysterious and whatnot. But so far, almost 100 pages in, I'm not feeling it, and it's kind of putting me into a reading slump because I'm this close to start The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F, along with the book I'm currently reading, which I haven't done in a very long time. I've read 2 books at once, but that only happens when one book cannot hold my attention. The second book in this, I read rather quickly. That was also a huge chunk of book, but I read it rather quickly because I was so into the story and into the characters and everything. I want to know what happens. Snake Eater is just not doing that for me. And I feel bad for saying that because I know the author is very beloved by a lot of people, but maybe it just wasn't the right book to start that whole journey with the author. That will be the stack. And hopefully it's doable. So I'll report back on these 2 that I finished another time. Not now. Not now. I talked enough. I'm a yapper. I film these vlogs over a long span, right? It's not a week and done. No. It's weeks. So in the previous vlog I said, oh, I hope this video is not that long. I hope it's 20 minutes. It's not. This is already almost 15 minutes long. this will also not be a short vlog. No. With me, no. I have to make myself a list and only talk about 5 books in depth in every vlog. Yes, you have the whole in here, but if I talk about that I finished this, for example, only 5 books. But then again, I just like talking. So anyways, I see you in the next clip. Bye. Hi, welcome to another update. It is, I think, February 4th, and yeah, I actually filmed an update before this, but I accidentally deleted it, so here we are. The problem is, the 3 books, I don't remember what I talked about and what I didn't talk about, but the 3 books that I've finished, doing that update, I got rid of already. So, it's a mess. The battery's running out as well. I'm quickly going to show you the new books that I got. I also got the new Lustgestaschenbuch. I don't remember what it is. Like, I'm a little frustrated, right? So I got the new Lustgestaschenbuch, then I got 2 new ones additionally. So this is Freda McFadden, Dear Debbie. This is the new release for January, which I have to read, obviously. And it has that weird matte cover that I do not like. Oof, I don't know. Yeah, this will have a reading vlog for it. Hopefully I can do that. It's been a while since I've filmed. And then the 3rd book that I got new is The Poet Empress by Shen Tao. That is literally the most beautiful book I've got in a long time. Look at it without the dust jacket. Look at that. Is this not beautiful? Then the end pages as well. Gorgeous. I will film a short for that, so you will actually see it a bit more close, but beautiful. There's something about like these muted shades, right? Like the brown, the orange, the white, the black. It's beautiful. Those are the 3 new books that I got. These 2 and then the Lustgestaschenbuch. I'm going to talk about these 3 first, because 3 library books. Oh my goodness. Can you believe it? So I finished The Subtle Art of Not Giving a F. That counted for the Rainbow Orange. Makes sense. And non-fiction. Update for the Hercule Challenge in general. I have not finished a single prompt. I'm still chopping away at every single one of them, but I have not finished one. Yeah, this is basically how to not give a F about anything in your life, and it is, as always with these self-help books, I want to know how to not give an F, right? However, the author brought in a bunch of other people, a friend of a friend, and a celebrity here, and this famous case, and those are all things that I could have easily Googled and went down the Wikipedia hole myself. I do not need a book for that, you know what I mean? Like, I want to know how this person, the author, is dealing with not giving an F. I don't need to know what your friends are doing or what a famous person is doing. I think there was the drummer of Megadeth, who was once the drummer of Metallica? I don't know, something like that. Like, I don't care. With every single self-help book, they always bring in other people and other people's stories, and that's something that I could easily have Googled, right? Just tell me how to not give an F. Write down what I can do and how it will benefit me, and just give me some self-help that you're actually promising, and not give me other people's stories. And then I have finished this one, I Who Have Never Known Man by Jacqueline Hartman. I think that counted for ABCH for Hartman. I got this because a lot of people talked about this. It's basically about 40 women who live in a cage, like an underground bunker, and all they see is the gods and each other. They don't see anything else. They don't even get weapons, like sharp knives, very dull knives, and then still have to cut the potatoes on. Every day is the same, and they don't even know if it's a full day that's passing or not, because the gods decide when the lights go on and off. At one point, there's an alarm going off, and coincidentally, the god left the key in the keyhole, so they turn it and then they leave, and they're free, and they don't know what to do, and they're scared. What if the gods come back, and what if they don't? And eventually, they just all decide to leave as a group, all 40 of them, and then they walk and walk and walk, and there's nothing else to be found, no one else to be seen, and it's just very lonely and sad and tense. I saw that people cried about it. I didn't, but it was still very sad, because obviously 40 people of different ages as well. Some people will die, some people will survive longer, and it was a nice book, but I would not reread it. Last but not least, I read another Sebastian Fitzek. This is counting for disabilities, because the main character has prosopagnosia, face blindness, and ABCE for idle. So yeah, face blindness, I've heard about that. I don't think I know anyone who knows it, but that must be a hell of a disability. Like, imagine, like, you're talking to someone that you know like 5-10 years ago, but you have absolutely no recognition of who that person is, because they all look maybe not the same, but same enough that you don't know who's who, that must be absolutely terrible. Oh my goodness. But yeah, this was an amazing psycho thriller as well. Fitzek did it again. He has some duds, but he also had some good books, and this was a very good book. I get this 4 or 4.5 stars. This was really good. Basically, it is about a, what do you call that, like a college reunion, you know, where everyone meets up. But you know, once our main character gets there, she realizes that she was actually not invited, and people are asking her, "What are you doing here?" And you just brought us here to kill us because we did something bad in the past. Now the problem is, the main character's father, he committed, you know what I mean, and because he was attracted to her, and he said that if I ever find a girl that looks exactly like you, I will. Right? So the people that were invited to the reunion actually found out that there's a homeless woman or girl back in the days that looks exactly like the main character, and then they brought the dad and the girl together, the homeless girl, and you know, so she's off for revenge, but it's actually her that's off for revenge because she was also invited there, and it's a bunch of people that don't like her, so maybe they want to kill her. It's a nice psycho thriller, and the end just, again, as usual, I really enjoyed this. This was nice. So I will go now to the recycling center because we did some spring cleaning, even though it's still winter. Doesn't matter. Yeah, these are the 3 books from the library that are finished. I have 3 more books from the library to finish. Once I get back and charge the battery, I will talk about the other 3 books that are finished. And I deleted the video. It's going quick. So I see you then. Bye. Alright, hi, I'm back. I went to the recycling center and had lunch, took a shower. I'm ready. Okay, so first I want to show you the book that I'm currently reading. That is Die 13,5 Leben des Captain Blaubeer, so the 13.5 lives of Captain Blue Bear. It is a very nice book, right, with illustrations and all, but it's also very long. It's 800 pages long. This bookmark here is very deceiving. This is not where I'm at. I'm at this point here, this bookmark. This is where the chapter ends. You know, so much for, oh, I'm going to read 1 chapter a day. That's just not possible. It's a lot. But yeah, I would like the story, like, this is meant for, like, younger people, right? And Blue Bear here, he has lived the most outrageous and adventurous and craziest life you've ever heard of. And currently he is in Atlantis. And he's meeting a bunch of weird creatures. This guy over there. And then also this dude here with 2 mouths. Yeah, I really enjoyed the story so far, but I'm also happy when it's done. That will count for the ABC challenge, B for Blaubeer. Okay, so then the 3 books that I finished, I think I said it in the clip that I deleted, so I'm going to talk about them again. So first off, the House Sapphire. I don't know, like, I have done a vlog. I'll link that here. I don't know if I talked about that in a previous clip. I have 1 clip saved on my laptop, but I don't know what I talked about. So I finished that one. That was for Modern Retelling and the November release. I've done it. I actually really enjoyed the book. It was like, some parts were a bit too young for me, you know, like the insta love and the way they fell in love and all, like, no. But the antagonist, I forgot what his name was, but he was great. You know, I really loved hating him, so that was great. I enjoyed the book. Marissa, like, I think she found her niche of retellings of whatever fairy tale we have. Alright, then I finished Snake Eater by T. Kingfisher, and that kind of for house pets, dog, and December release. Now, the version that I had was a December release, and yes, emphasis on had, because I do not have the book anymore. The thing is, I've heard a lot about this author, you know, T. Kingfisher, and apparently, like, a master of horror books and stories that will give you the heebie-jeebies, and just overall just gory, nasty stuff that gives you shivers, right? So I figured, well, this is a new release. What was the horror? What's the horror in this? Well, so the pet, the dog, I know more about this pet's bowel movements and how often it actually peed and where it peed than I know about the whole story, because I think the synopsis was that the spirit of an ancient soul, whatever, got transferred into a roadrunner, and now that roadrunner is looking to finish things that our main character's aunt has not finished. So basically, the main character's aunt died, and you know, she's the next or the only kin that's still alive. So she inherits the house and all, and then she's getting visited by spirits, and obviously, well, some of them have unfinished business. That sounds good, right? Like, we have a spirit come up, and even in the form of a roadrunner. I've never seen a roadrunner in my life, but I cannot imagine it. You know, like, it might be scary. You would think, oh, that actually sounds creepy, and this also out in the desert in a very small town. Small towns are a little scary, you know, like, sometimes they're boring AF, but sometimes they can also be very scary. So I was like, oh, nice, I'm gonna get a horror book, and I'm gonna be so freaked out that I sleep with the lights on, you know, because I've heard a lot about this author, like I said. And again, also, like I said, where was the horror? There was no horror in this. It was more like a cozy fantasy, cozy mystery, and I do not like cozy fantasy and cozy mysteries. It's one of the book like genres that I do not like. Getting from one point to the other just takes so long to build some momentum. The characters were okay, but not much more, you know what I mean? Like, towards the end, our main character actually did something that was not usual for them. When it comes to the ex-partner, that was nice, but that was like the last 10 pages of the book. I was just sitting there and waiting for the momentum to build up and to finally get that horror and creepy feeling, but it just never arrived. So yeah, that was my first T. Kingfisher book, and it might be the last. It might be the last. Maybe it was just a total dud, because someone on Fimble actually asked the same question, when does the horror start? And people replied to that, it is not a horror book. I think even on Goodreads it is marked, you know, like tagged as a horror. It's not horror. There's no horror in this at all. I think I give like 1 or 2 stars, and then I got rid of it obviously because I don't have the copy anymore. And the last book that I read that I don't think I talked about here, that was what we talk about when we talk about love. That was the book club pick. I did not like the book at all. Like, every single man, that book sucks. They either drinking, being rude, being misogynistic, being assholes, and I do not like any of them. There's so much whining and terrible people in there. There was one story, tell the woman we're going, or tell the woman we're gone, or something like that. That was the worst out of them in terms of that it pissed me off. Because if you know what the story is about, so much unneeded violence just for the sake of being violent, and you know, like I said, every single man in this book sucks, and I did not like it at all. Would I have liked it if a woman in that book would have been the bad guy? Probably also not. You know, like, can you not have one story where people are nice, people are not addicted to whatever they are addicted to? No, so I did not like it at all. I get it as a classic, and it was a very fast and easy read, but no. I don't know if I count that for anything. I don't think I did. Okay, so that is it. That was the update for now. I think I will finish this book, and then the what do I always say, Miss Marple? I do not have a Miss Marple book. The Hercule Poirot book, which will get a vlog. Yay. And then I will also finish the Crescent City one, and then I will end this update here. As you saw from the updates, I do have some progress in different prompts, but it's not no finished prompt whatsoever. The closest, the next finished prompt will probably be the trilogy, because the Crescent City one is the last one, is the 3rd book. But then again, that is just a small part of a much bigger prompt, you know what I mean? Because it's a standalone, a duology, trilogy, and then a series of 4+ books. And I want to read ACOTAR. And I've been saying I want to read ACOTAR since July. We are February, and I still have not touched the 1st book yet. I have the 1st book, so maybe I should start. But then again, you know, I've read a lot of Sarah J. Maas in the past, especially big books like Crescent City. You know what? I think March will be the month where I start ACOTAR. I'll just put it out in the universe. It's where I started, and then maybe I can have 2 books a month. How many books are in ACOTAR? If I remember correctly, I saw a bit of a spoiler, but apparently some people in Crescent City 3, I don't know what's it called, House of whatever, some people in that book are also in the ACOTAR series. So maybe, you know, I can keep the momentum going and then read more, and just, you know, while I'm still in the story, while I remember the names and, you know, what they're like, their abilities, whatever. We'll see. I think my library has all the books. Speaking of library, I have to go back in like 10 days, and I still have this to finish. Crescent City and a Hercule Poirot. Why did I get 6 books from the library? Why didn't I get? What's wrong with me? Someone needs to stop me. Someone needs to slap my wrist and say, no, stop getting so many books. I guarantee you, next time I go to the library in like 10 days, I'll get smaller books. Nice, thin books. I might get another Hercule Poirot, which are very easy to read for me. It's just my challenge with read 1 book, buy 1 book. If I go to the library and I get 6 books, how can I even do that? 2 of which are huge. Oh my god. Okay, need to calm down. I'm going to continue with the book, and then I will, you know, when I'm done with that, like I said, I already have the plan made for the rest of the books, and it's just a circle. It's a circle. Bye. Hi. I have finished this book. Like, I gave it 3 stars because I really enjoyed it at first, but over time it just got a little. It was a bit drawn out. You know what I mean? You can 100% tell that the author had a lot of fun writing this, especially, you know, there's a bit of a storyline going on where they're looking for the biggest liar in town, right? And you have to come up with the craziest stories and the craziest ideas, and depending on how crazy it is and how impossible it actually sounds, the more points you get. There's a one battle going on that went on for, I think, like 100 rounds or 90 rounds, and I'm just like, man, get to the point. So I'm happy that I read it, and you know, I grew up with this little guy here, but I'm also happy that I'm done with it. Okay, so again, this counted for, let's see, ABCB for blog. That's the only category or prompt that I found that would actually match this. So I'm done with it. 701 pages. I'm so happy. As you can see here, this is book 1 in the series, and I don't know if I want to get the other books. Then I got 2 new books. One of this was counted for, the other one which is not, because last month it really threw me off that I got 6 books at the library. Why did I do that? I would never ever do that again. So I was kind of frustrated, you know. I did make some progress, obviously, because I've read books, but I'm now on the 5th library book back to back, and I got a bit frustrated with it, especially if you have such a huge chunky book to read. I just got another book on top of it. So anyways, this here was actually counted for. This is for the book club that I'm in. This is by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. I hope that was right. Love in the Time of Cholera. Beautiful cover. It's like the vintage cover, right? I think, to be honest, Love in the Time of Cholera does not sound interesting to me. You know, it's like, and there's a quote by Newsweek on the back that says, "A love story of astonishing power and delicious comedy, humane, visually comic, almost unbearably touching, and altogether extraordinary." Now, he's the author of 100 Years of Solitude. I've heard of that book. I've never read it before, and I saw the author and I was like, wait, is that not the author of that book? And lo and behold, yes, it is. I should have read, you know, in between the lines, because it literally says here that it's the author. I think I have the general release that I have to read, and then I will get to this. I don't know if it's a classic, and I don't know if it's as famous as the other book by this author, because I have heard a lot of things, good things about the other book, so I'm excited. I don't know, probably a lot of intense talk about cholera. The other new book, compared to the other, look at this, gorgeous. The Prince by Niccolo Machiavelli. I have a goal of collecting all these Penguin Classic Black Edition books, whatever they're called. Now, I'm fully aware that I've read a lot of classics before my life, but I'm going to be very transparent here. I often read classics just to read classics, right? And sometimes they're a bit boring to me. Look, Jane Austen, I get that she's a master of her craft, I get that, but some of her books are just a bit too boring. However, I want to give it a shot, okay? Just really sit down with the books and interact with them, you know, underline things that I find interesting or that I find weird or that are too boring for me. What, you know, just really interact with the book. Which also means that I might have to repurchase classics and give it another shot. If it's a book that I've read before and I absolutely did not like, I will not repurchase it. But anyways, this is The Prince by Niccolo Machiavelli, like I said. I don't know much about this. I just saw it and I bought it. I didn't know it was this thin, so that might be, you know, good for me. The Prince shocked Europe on publication with his advocacy of ruthless tactics for gaining absolute power and its abandonment of conventional morality. I'm really, really excited. There's actually a map of Italy in the 1500s. Now, 1500s, in case you don't know, Renaissance. Who is mentioned in this book? Who was actually, like, not friends, but what was the thing that I read here? Where is it? For Machiavelli's plan to assert Florentine authority over Pisa, Leonardo da Vinci is consulted on a scheme to divert the river Arno around Pisa to the Sea of Livorno. He literally talked to Leonardo da Vinci, who's arguably the greatest artist of all time. You see what I mean when I want to read the classics and actually just spend time with it? I feel like I did not give the classics the love and time they deserve. So here we are. I'm happy there's a, you know, chronology in here. Yeah. There's a lot of Medici talk as well, because obviously the Medici ruled Florence. Excited to read this. Or excited to read this. Like, this might be an actual classic. This might be a new classic. A modern classic. Last but not least, what I'm currently reading is, of course, Agatha Christie, Curtain. And again, I should have read in between the lines, because it says only one case is still to solve. This is literally Hercule Poirot's last case. I saw it like this. And that's why I got it from the library. I did not read in between. So this is the last case. The last Hercule Poirot book. And I will probably spoil it, because Captain Hastings' invitation to a reunion with his old friend Hercule Poirot brings them full circle, back to the rambling country house of Styles, where they solved their first murder together. I'm probably going to be spoiled. You know, there should be like a huge spoiler sign on here that I should not read this book, but I'm already 60 pages in. And so far, I quite enjoy it. Because Hercule Poirot he's old and fragile and all, and he's not, like, his brain isn't working, but his body is kind of giving up on him, so Hastings is doing all the investigative stuff. Obviously, he meets up with Poirot to talk about it, but Hastings is going around questioning people. That's something nice. Nice for change. Because usually you have Hercule Poirot come in towards the middle or towards the end and then solve the case. This will hopefully be a fast read, and hopefully I do not see the end coming. Usually, like, I don't think with all the books, Poirot books I've read, I've not once solved the case. I would be a terrible detective. Do not call me up. But continue to read, and then I'll talk to you when I'm like halfway done, or maybe when I'm done with the book. Depending on how interesting it gets, I might read the whole thing at once. Yeah, and also I have to film the vlog for this. So I'll see you in the next update, which hopefully will be Poirot done. Maybe I can squeeze the Machiavellian. It's funny because I opened this up and the reader before me made it to page 24. And then gave up. This is why I love buying second-hand books. I know some people don't, but I really love reading other people's thoughts and feelings. I don't know, it's just nice to see. So, anyways, I will continue to read, and I'll see you in the next update. Bye. Hi, welcome back. It's been quite a while. I have like 4 books to talk about. Yes, I just filmed my Poirot update, and I gave Poirot Curtain, the last Poirot case. I gave that book, I think, like between 3 and 4 stars when I did my initial review, but I said in the vlog as well, the more I think about it, the more I would only give it 3 stars, because the ending was just, like, is that really how it's gonna end? The whole story, you know, because it's the last Poirot book, like, it's done. Is that how it's gonna end? Like, why did that person do the things that they did? Because they're definitely not known to be like that. I get that they're trying to help the humanity even, so that, like, it's just, I don't want to talk too much about it, but it's just, the ending it kind of made me want more, and I was kind of, it's really hard to say, but I was a little disappointed in it, especially the way it ended. Maybe it was not the right idea to read the last book after I only read like 5 others, you know what I mean? Maybe I should have gone in order, but I said it in the vlog as well. My library does not have the books in order. They don't even have the Poirot, Miss Marple, and then the other books in order. They're just scattered all around the bookshelf. So you have to look for either, actually, it's saying a Poirot or the little mustache. I will give it 3 stars now if I could re-rate it. I've also finished this one here. The Prince by Niccolo Machiavelli. Yeah, it has some good things in there, but oh my god. I was not expecting to get a whole geography lesson on Italy in the Renaissance, like especially Florence and Bologna, and what that is also named often. Hold on. Well, it's often Rome, of course. Yeah, like, it was just a lot. It was a lot of info dumping. And basically the story is about Niccolo Machiavelli telling the magnificent Lorenzo de Medici how a prince, or also known as a tyrant, a ruler, should rule, right? And because there are obviously certain rules that someone has to follow in order to be a successful prince and king and tyrant and just leader of a country, or back in days, you know, when Italy was still looked like this. You know, different kings and princes and whatnot. If people here, you know, in the Renaissance, kind of like, what's his name? Da Vinci, Michelangelo, if they would know what Italy looked like by now, they would be shocked. Whether that's good or bad, that's up to you, but they will probably be shocked. So yeah, there are some very good quotes in here that I like. In every way, therefore, this means this means of defense is as useless as colonization is useful. A man who becomes prince with the help of nobles finds it more difficult to maintain his position than the one who does so with the help of the people. So basically, listen to what the people have to say. Yeah, it is nice to have some guidance, but those noble men, the rich and powerful men, they are also known to step in the back. So it's much nicer to have the people on your side who see that you actually do something for them and they will give you something in return. I like that aspect, but also, like I said, a lot of geography and a lot of history. Oh boy, I did not expect that. But then again, I would love the Renaissance. My favorite artist of all time is Michelangelo. I know it is controversial because Da Vinci is the great one, but for me it is Michelangelo. So it was nice to go back in time and to actually read from someone who was in contact with the Leonardo da Vinci. He probably knew Michelangelo as well. You know what I mean? Like, it's just that person actually lived with the grandmasters of the Renaissance. You know what I mean? And we are so lucky to have all of these books and these texts of things that actually happened. You know what I mean? Like, it's nice to read a fantasy. Don't get me wrong. It's nice to read some Agatha Christie. But sometimes I just need this. So I really enjoyed it. I don't know where I put it. I have this one, this shelf. My beautiful army bomb. That is my Roman history shelf now. There's not really Roman history, but it's Italian history. So should I, for the time being, put it onto my Roman shelf? Why not? Let's do it. And then I got a book 607, and it's just, I don't know what it is, but I think they changed the paper. It just feels different. I mean, obviously the quality has gone up over the years. These are being released ever since, I don't know, very long time. So obviously the quality went up, but it's just, I don't know, it just does not feel the same anymore. So this is 607. I'm currently reading 606. I think it was 606, the book before this. That's going okay. However, I have not made much progress because I'm reading Crescent City 3, which I will put here. House of Flame and Shadow by Sarah J. Maas. I'm on chapter, you see it, 61. Jesus Christ, there are 102 chapters. Now the thing is, I have to go back to the library on Tuesday, which is in 2 days, it's Sunday today. I was actually supposed to go back last Tuesday, but I was only 70 pages in. House of Flame and Shadow, is that it? That is over 800 pages long. I think 835. There was no way I would be able to finish this on time. So I pushed through, I read it, and it takes a bit of time to get into story. Like, I read the second book last month. The memory is still fresh, but it just takes a bit to get into the story. However, now I'm fully enjoying it, and I want to know how it continues and how it ends, because it's the last book in the trilogy, and I need to know it, okay? So I figured, let's go to Libby, see if they have it. Preferably audiobook, because I just love listening to fantasy. However, they did not have the audiobook, they only had the ebook. But I do not care, okay? I got the ebook, it was available, thank God. And now, instead of bringing this 800-page book, literally a huge freaking tome with me, I could just take my phone. Tomorrow I have to go to the city hall to renew my ID because it's expiring soon. I have the book with me on my phone. So I hope I can make some good progress. I still have like 300 pages also left. As you heard, 102 chapters. I don't think I will be able to finish it before I go to the library, so thankfully I have the ebook. Now my goal was to read a certain amount of pages every single day, and when I've achieved that goal, I would read Los Casalbuch 606. Given the fact that I'm very behind on reading it, I have not touched Los Casalbuch in a couple of days. That is it. I think I said I would end the vlog when I'm done with the library books, so I only have one left to go. That is the Crescent City one left to go. But in between, I will also kind of sandwich in the new library haul, and I told myself I would not get 6 books this time. What was I thinking getting 6 books? I read almost nothing else apart from this, the library books this month. Well, we are mid-February, but like within a month, I read nothing else but library books. I'm kind of tired. Okay, I need something else. So my goal is to get Akuta 2. I haven't started the series. I don't know what the second book is called, but I have Akuta in my TBR. Somewhere in that pile is Akuta, and that is my pick for the series, like 4+ books prompt. So I figured if I get the second book from the library, that will motivate me to pick up the first one and I get going with that series, because what is it, like 5-6 books, if not more? If I want to finish that prompt, I need to get going. Crescent City is the trilogy, of course. I'm reading the last book. So I'll be done with that. And then if I could start Akatar, it would be so nice. Maybe I can read 2 books in a month. So I definitely want to get the second book in that series, and then maybe something not as big as the other books. You know, if you remember the Captain Blaubeer, 800 pages, Crest City, 800 pages. I just need something small, which is why I was so eager to start The Prince. I literally got that book, and I had the urge to read it because it's so small, and it really felt like it's like 80 pages. Okay, it's okay. So nice. So good. You know, getting 6 books from the library meant that I could not get a new book because I did the read 1 book, buy 1 book. If I start, what's next month? March. If I start March with 0 books, obviously, you know, March 1st, and then I go to the library and get 6 books, I have to read 7 books in order to get 1 book. I will never ever get 6 books anymore, unless they're very small and easy to read. Never again 6 books. I will continue with House of Flame and Shadow. Yeah, you will probably see the library haul in this vlog as well. And then I'm hopefully done with Crescent City. Very excited. So I'll see you Tuesday when I'm back from the library. Bye. Hi. Welcome to the last update for this update. I actually want to edit this video, and then I realized that I said that I would finish this vlog when I'm done with Crescent City 3, and guess what? I am done with Crescent City 3. I don't have the book anymore, so I'll put a picture here. I actually went to the library yesterday, so I think you also, if you saw the short that I filmed, I will link it here. I just got 2 books. So excited about it. So, first and foremost, I'll show you the new books that I got, because only 2, like I said. So we have A Court of Mist and Fury, book 2 in the Akatar series by Sarah J. Maas. And I also got, cheese Christ, I also got The Witches of Vado. I don't know how you pronounce the O with the slash through. So, yeah, I just randomly grabbed this. Norway, 1662, a dangerous time to be a woman when even dancing can lead to accusations of witchcraft. Then I finished, like I said, Crescent City 3. That was so good. I cannot tell too much about it because this is the 3rd book in a series, or in a trilogy, the final book. Oh, man, it was so good. Can I just say, Ethan Holdstrong, the redemption arc that he had from the 1st book to the 3rd book, oh, I love it so much. So, you know, he was there in the 1st book. Now there's like a focused person, but he was still kind of there, and he was not very likable. So from the 1st book to the 3rd book, oh, he's one of my favorite characters in the series. I just have to say, him and Lydia. That's all I will say. The 2 of them, those redemption arcs, oh, they were so nice. So good. And I'm so happy I read the series. I enjoyed it very much, to the point where I actually ordered the physical books. I had to have them in my collection. And I think I can officially say that Sarah J. Maas is one of my favorite authors ever, because I've read so many books by her and I've enjoyed every single one. I mean, the only one that I didn't really like was in Throne of Glass. What was it? I forgot what it's called. The Tower of Dawn? I know there's a tandem read to it. I should have done the tandem read. I should not have read that whole book by itself. But still, you know, I really like Sarah J. Maas, and I'm so happy that I finished this book. And I had such a great time with it. I love it. I can highly recommend it. If you like fae, if you like shifters, if you like angels, if you like fighting, if you like political stuff in a sense, it's so good. I will like it. So, and yeah, that kind of for my Series Staircase trilogy, which I can finally check off. I still have 1 prompt to go, like I said, to the series, but the trilogy is done. I'm so excited about that. And then I also counted for the ABC challenge, which is my personal prompt from her kit 1 that I brought over. That kind of for O. Then I finished another book. Was gesagt book 606 with Phantom of the Opera. There's another book that I want to read because it's a classic and a lot of people like it, and I'm going to write it. So finish this. I'm in the middle of another book. Like my goal was to not have a backup of these because they come out every single month, and they are 54 pages. They're comics. I should not have 5 or 6 books of those on my TBR. You know, after the Captain Blaubeer, you know, that was 800 pages. After the Crescent City 3, that was 800 pages. I need something small in between. So I'm currently reading 603. Yes, I'm not in order whatsoever. This is actually, all the yellow you see is glow in the dark. So it scared me a little when I saw it for the first time, because I was laying in bed and I thought, what is that light? What is shining over there? Like, it's not intense, obviously, you know, it's like those glow in the dark stars that you had probably as a kid. But I was still thinking, man, where's this coming from? It is the cover. It's the cover. I have this much read, this still to go. They are so easy to read. It's just a nice palette cleanser in between. So that was it. That was the update. I think update 9, if I'm not mistaken. 2 books finished. 2 new books from the library. And yeah, overall, I don't know how much I have done in this vlog. I finished off the trilogy. So excited about that. You know, I could have easily gone for a trilogy that's just books like this, where they're thin. No, of course I go for Crescent City, which is like, every book is like this big. But I'm done with it, and I really thoroughly enjoyed it. Like I said, to the point where I bought the physical books. There will also be an update that you would see, because, you know, once they arrive, I will show you what they look like, and I hope in good condition. They're all hardcovers, and the condition was between very good. No, the condition was between like new and very good, so they better look very nicely. I hope you enjoyed the vlog. Like I said, I don't know how much I finished. I finished one prompt that's, well, somebody, it's so sad because I finished a prompt, right? Read the trilogy, but I have not finished the whole prompt yet. I finished a prompt within a prompt. And for the whole prompt to be done, ACOTAR. How many books are in ACOTAR? 4 are here, but it also says, look out for the next book in the ACOTAR series coming soon. So there are at least 5. Oh my god. Yes, I should get to read.